On this week's edition of District Directions, we will be joined by Mrs. Connie Blaney, Dr. John Clinton, and Mrs. Linda Kramer. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another edition of District Directions. I'm your host, Amanda Patterson. Getting us started today is Mrs. Connie Blaney with the District Update, where she always keeps us informed on the latest district decisions. Well, today, however, it seems as though she has a lot of congrats for outstanding district educators. So without further ado, here's Mrs. Connie Blaney with the details.
Congratulations to Madison Elementary for being recognized by the State Department of Education as an Oklahoma Title I Distinguished School in the Distinguished School Recognition Program. The school met certain criteria and will receive a $500 cash award for the Title I program. A student-parent orientation has been set for all incoming 6th, 7th, and 8th graders at all 4 Norman middle schools this week. 6th grade students and their parents are invited to attend an orientation on Tuesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. at the school which they will attend in the fall of 1997. Orientation for the 1997-98 school year for 7th and 8th graders and their parents will be held on Thursday, April 17th at 7 p.m. at their prospective school sites. The purpose of the orientation is to allow parents and students an opportunity to tour the building, meet with staff, and receive enrollment information. 3 of the schools will have a brief PTA meeting at 7 o'clock. Information about orientation was sent through Thursday folders for the next year's 6th graders and through the U.S. mail for incoming 7th and 8th graders. If you have questions, please give the school where your child attends a call. We congratulate Marshal Andrew Glenn, Ph.D., who has received the Faye Catlett Award for Outstanding School Psychologist for 1996-97 in Oklahoma. Andrew currently works for Norman School's Special Services Program, where he works with students from age 3 to adult. He serves on intervention teams at Truman, Cleveland, McKinley, and West Mid-High. He was unanimously chosen by his members in his organization, OSPA, Oklahoma School Psychologists Association. One colleague said that Andy has been an active and productive member of OSPA and demonstrates this professionalism not only in his organization, but with his students, their families, teachers, and colleagues. He conscientiously goes that extra mile. We are very proud of Dr. Glenn and his honor. The Assistance League of Norman and Norman Public Schools will hold Kindergarten Roundup on Wednesday, May 7th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. at each elementary school in the district. Coordinating the Kindergarten Roundup for the Assistance League is Diana Williams, assisted by Pat Nolan, Director of Student Services for Norman Public Schools. Parents or guardians need to complete enrollment at the school that the child will attend. Enrollment will also be held for students who are currently attending a private kindergarten and wish to enroll in the 1st grade. Children must be 5 years of age on or before September 1st of 1997 to enroll in kindergarten. An official state birth certificate and a current immunization record must be presented at the time of enrollment. Cleveland County Health Department and Rotary International are sponsoring an immunization clinic on Saturday, April 26th from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at Sooner Fashion Mall. These immunizations are free to the public. On Friday, April 11th, employees in Norman schools participated in an afternoon in-service training. This in-service gave our employees at the secondary level an opportunity to meet with their new 1997-98 staffs and make plans for a smooth transition next year for students and staff. Dr. Nancy O'Brien, Assistant Superintendent, said that our focus is on creating a positive environment for our youth and helping our students adapt to change. She noted that the staffs at all secondary school sites are concentrating their efforts on student activities, course offerings, counseling services, special events, and the many new opportunities for student leadership that will develop as a result of this configuration change. At the Oklahoma School Public Relations Association's Spring Conference, at the Partners for Excellence Luncheon, which was held last Friday, Gary Kramer, Director of Video Resources, and Fred Avery, Studio Manager, were recognized with a statewide award for their contributions to education and to school public relations. They received the Partners for Excellence Award during the luncheon in the teaching category. Norman schools also received awards in the Video and Publications Contest. Gary Kramer and Bill McCullough received an award in the Publications Contest for their video, Forever Norman High. The Public Relations Department received awards for the 1996-97 profile brochure, Milestones of Success, and for the internal newsletter, The Focus. On Friday, April 18th, our Teachers of the Year and other certified staff will be recognized at the Celebration of Teaching banquet to be held in the evening at the U.S. Postal Training Center in the Marriott. Our District Teacher of the Year will be named from one of our 7 finalists. Our 7 Teacher of the Year finalists are Jetta Burton from West, Tracy Four from Norman High, Michelle Gentry, Madison, Tim Hutchison, Washington, Sandra Knudsen from Adams, and Susan Powell from Roosevelt, and David Wilson, Jackson Elementary. We are very proud of all of our Teachers of the Year. They are Norman's best. Our next school board meeting will be held on Monday, April 21st at 7 p.m. in the Administrative Services Center's Curriculum Center. The public is invited to attend. Public comments are at the beginning of the meeting, and a person must fill out a card before 7 p.m. to speak on the agenda. For Norman Public Schools, I'm Connie Blaney.
Thank you, Mrs. Blaney. Next to join us is Norman's Fine Arts Director and a rather new face to our show. He's Dr. John Clinton, and he is discussing speech and debate with Sarah Griswold and Scott Henderson. Let's see what they have to say.
Welcome to Focus on the Fine Arts. I'm your host, John Clinton, Director of Fine Arts for the Public Schools here in Norman. I'm really excited today because we have 2 guests who have become something very special within the Norman Public Schools, and they are part of a larger group that is, as I understand it, the largest group to go to a particular event that Norman High School has ever had happen. I want to introduce you to Sarah Griswold. Sarah, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And Scott Henderson. Now, Sarah, you're a senior here at Norman High School,
Right.
and Scott, you're a junior here at Norman High School. You guys are getting ready this summer sometime, to go to an incredible event sponsored by the National Forensic League, I believe, and it's called basically Nationals.
Yeah.
Tell me what Nationals is all about. Scott, can you tell me about that?
Well, it's basically the accumulation of what we've done over the years, going to qualifying tournaments, and then in order to qualify for nationals, you have to do well at districts.
We might want to back up just a little bit. What kind of, when we say nationals, that's a very broad topic.
Yeah,
is this in debate, speech?
Yeah, it's speech and competitive acting.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, good. And who's your coach for this?
Dr. Elizabeth Ballard, Mr. Randy Hemphill, and Mrs. Dana Hemphill.
Very good. And we are going to be taking 7 people?
6.
Right, we're
6
taking
people.
6.
Okay.
And there's still the NFL Congress, which if anyone qualifies in that, then we could have additional people coming, but that's not for another week, I think,
I
or
see.
2 weeks.
It'll be a while before it comes up.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what areas you 2 specifically are going in.
Okay, I'm going in domestic extemporaneous speaking.
Yes, and?
And I'm going with foreign extemporaneous speaking.
Okay, extemporaneous speaking. Now, that is really a frightening word to almost everyone in this world. You know, if someone comes up to you and says, could you just spend a couple of minutes talking about whatever topic it may be, and people go crazy. I assume that they probably give you about just 2 or 3 topics, and they say, prepare for this, and then we want you to be extemporaneous on one of these 2 topics. Is that the way it goes?
Well, to qualify for nationals, we went to districts, and at all the other tournaments, we'd chosen 5 topics, and at districts, we had to choose only 3. So, you know, 1 out of the 3, you had to write a speech on it and give it in 30 minutes, which is pretty pressure. So.
Do you know the topics before you get to the competition, to the tournaments?
We did at districts, but we don't know if we will at nationals yet. We should. They give you topic areas for each round.
Like, for example, have you done this before to know what a topic area might include?
Yeah.
What would that be, for example, Sarah?
Well, we prepare for it by, we have these huge boxes, and we section them off into things, in domestic extemporaneous, we section them off into things like economy, social affairs, government, and at districts, we had those kinds of topics like government, miscellaneous, athletics, stuff like that, and so we were able to easily find stuff out of our files, and foreign's a little different.
Yeah, foreign, we just do it by region, except like North America, South America, Asia, etc., except for the really big nations such as Israel, Cuba, Iraq, things like that. They have their own folder.
This doesn't remind me of a specific topic. This reminds me of, it could be any number of things, and I hope that you have researched this well enough to know what's going on. You must have huge boxes of information.
They're pretty big.
They're pretty heavy.
Do you spend just virtually every moment that you have reading Time, Newsweek, every newspaper, doing research all the time?
Oh, it's pretty consistent. Not all the time. We'd like to say we do, but we don't. But it's pretty consistent. I usually spend 4 or 5 hours a week. That's not very much, it seems like, but it gets you there.
That's pretty incredible. You talked to me earlier that the topics could even, you said at district or one of the levels you had questions on Evita?
Yeah, one of my friends actually got 2nd place at a tournament speaking about Tupac Shakur and his death. So the topics, especially in domestic extemporaneous, can range from, you know, Hollywood and the Oscars to the United States involvement in Cuban affairs. So domestic is really, really broad, and so it helps just to have a general knowledge kind of how the United States dabbles in each section. And foreign's different again, sort of on that aspect.
How much in-depth information do you have to have in order to be a winner, which you obviously are?
Oh, quite a lot.
Yes?
Yeah, like you can get questions. I don't know if it's in domestic, it's probably a little easier, but you can get questions with the name of a person, and there won't be a country. Like so-and-so will end up being the prime minister, and it doesn't say. So you have to know who all these Mohammeds, Akbars, Zadias, etc., and what country they're from, and that's kind of tough. But
have you ever been in a position in the tournament, I'm trying to picture myself in this, where they say, okay, here is your question, or here is your topical area. You've got 30 minutes to write this speech, and immediately you realize that that was the thing that you were going to research if you just had a moment. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I don't know about Sarah, but it happened to me at the first qualifying tournament. I drew a question on Libya, and I thought we would have stuff on Libya, and we didn't. So I had to give a speech on Iraq and just use Libya, kind of intertwine it in there, but it was tough.
Did you pull information together that would relate to both in some way?
I tried to. It was hard, but yeah, I got 2nd place in the room.
Well, you obviously did very well.
Yeah, I did all right.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Now, the tournament itself for nationals is going to be held where?
It's in Bloomington, is that right?
Bloomington,
Minnesota, which I understand is just a suburb of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Because we have like Mall of America trips lined up and everything, so it can't be that far away.
You know, in the recent past, they've gone through some significant weather problems up there.
Really?
As much as you guys watch TV, to be able to keep up with all this stuff, you might know that, but they've gone through a lot of flooding in that area. But surely by the time you go, that will all be
we're hoping.
And when do you
file
go?
boxes to float away.
When do you go?
Mid-June, mid to late June.
Okay, mid-late June. Well, by then, you know, that's a couple of months away, so everything will be wonderful and beautiful and flowery up there.
Good.
Now, I assume that you're having to, knowing the way public school finances are here in Norman, that there's hardly any, if any, help at all that the public schools will be able to give you to help finance this trip. What are you doing to be able to pull this together so you can actually go?
Okay. Actually, my understanding is we really don't have to do that much personally. The National Forensics League chapter at our school has dues at the beginning of the year, and I think that and through other kinds of amounts of money that we've paid.
The money we made on the debate tournament.
Right. Oh, that's it. Yeah, Monty Python probably. I think that's how.
Good.
It is.
Okay,
That's
well,
how we
Monty
do it.
Python is a huge event
Yeah.
here in Norman. It is one of the largest events. Did both of you participate in the Monty Python?
Yeah. What did you
Yeah.
do?
I'm infamous for doing it now. I tabulated championship extemp, and I had a hand in the Monty Python events
Yes.
known as humorous impromptu duet.
Yes.
And humorous extemporaneous speaking. So I had a hand in those too.
I'm not sure what you mean by you had a hand in
Oh,
these
they kind of
things.
got out of hand.
Is that right?
Yeah, but they just got out of hand.
Are you telling me that at these debate tournaments, which are very serious and very resourceful and very heavily researched, that you can actually have a good time doing these particular things?
It's great.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh
right?
man, is it fun?
Especially because, most of my friends are in debate or acting, and so it's just, we're going up to state actually tomorrow, and so Scott and 4 other people and me are going up to Stillwater,
Oh, great.
and so and they're like all my really good friends, so it's really neat.
Good. Do you also make friends from throughout the state that you see
Yeah.
regularly at some of these debate
That's
tournaments?
buddy with the state champion.
Oh, is that
they're-
right?
Oh, yeah. You usually bond with people who are in your event, and I'm kind of become buddies with a couple other guys that are going to nationals and foreign extemp. But
Well, that'll be a lot of fun then.
also going to Norman though, we kind of have a legacy about us because our coaches are really the coolest coaches on
There you go.
in the entire state.
Yeah.
Mr. Hemphill and
Yeah.
Dr. Ballard, when you
Oh,
see
yeah.
this show,
Yeah.
that was not processed by them for any other reason, just to let you know how wonderful
I
you
love
are.
Dr. Oh no,
Just for
okay.
an A in lunch.
Yeah, really.
And you said your name so well, so it must be true. It must be true. That's wonderful. Now, among these 6 people, you're going in domestic extemporaneous,
Right.
you're going in international or foreign extemporaneous.
yeah.
We got other areas, obviously.
Right.
Other
Oh,
areas,
yeah.
maybe. Who else is going, if you remember? Who else is going, and what in areas are they going, if you remember that?
Well, our friend Michael Lee is going in Lincoln Douglas debate, which is pretty much when people think of debate, I think that's what they're thinking of.
2 people going head-to-head on one
Right,
topic.
right, and that's
Yes.
what Mike's
Yeah.
going in and do the actors.
Yeah, this is the first year Norman High has taken actors in an acting event, and we have Amber Dickinson and Jimmy Dunlop going in duo interp, and we have Rebecca Petty going in dramatic interp.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
To have that many people.
That's their history, is what they are.
What do you mean that's their
Well,
history?
this is the first time Norman's taken people.
I see.
So, and they're going to be remembered for a while.
So we have 2 big events going on. One is the most people we have ever taken,
Right.
and the other thing is the first time in drama
Yeah.
that we
Yes.
have actually been able to take those
Yeah.
people to work with.
Big landmarks.
Do what?
Big landmarks.
Oh, it really is
Yeah.
big landmarks, and it's kind of a nice landmark considering this is the last year for a single high school
Yeah, I think so.
to be able to move
Yeah.
ahead. Now, you're going to be graduating,
Right.
and so this doesn't really affect you except in mind and spirit, possibly. Scott, this does affect you in
Yeah,
some
it
way. Are
does.
you looking forward to the change?
Well, for me, there's really not going to be one. I'm not too happy. I wasn't too happy with it, and I would have gone to Norman North, but when I found out that I was going to Minnesota, I decided to come back here. So Dr.
Okay.
Ballard, Mr. Hemphill, Ms. Hemphill could help me get to St. Louis next year, which is where nationals are.
So you have asked for a transfer
Yeah.
that's been approved to come back here to Norman
Yeah.
High School. Well, that's going to be wonderful. So you have lots of wonderful things that are going to be happening to both of you. What are your plans for next year, Sarah?
Well, this is kind of funny because I got, just recently got all of the college mail back, and one of the colleges I'm considering is in Northfield, Minnesota. So I don't think I'm going to get the chance to drop by on the way to nationals, but I think it will be interesting to see what the weather's like when I'm up there in June and see if I made the right decision on May 1st.
I think what you'll discover is in June that it's incredibly beautiful
Yeah,
up
I've
there.
heard that.
It is just a wonderful place to be in. I don't know what it's like in the wintertime. We might want to consider.
I've heard it's not so beautiful.
You might want to look on the internet and see what the average mean
Yeah.
or the average snowfall might be up in that area. But I think it'd be wonderful. Well, congratulations to both of you
Thank you
and to
very much.
everyone else on that team, because that's a wonderful event. Also, congratulations to Dr. Ballard and to Mr. Hemphill for all the work they do, and Mrs. Hemphill, because I know they're
Right.
all 3 heavily involved
Oh, yeah.
in what they do, and that they have helped you in many, many ways. But congratulations to both of you. And I look
you.
forward to hearing the
Thanks.
results of
Yeah.
how this has all turned about. So thank you very
Thanks.
much for being
Thanks
with us.
again.
And thank you for being with us as we have focused on the fine arts.
Thank you, Dr. Clinton. Now it's time to look towards Mrs. Linda Kramer for an opening doors as she focuses on Model Congress.
Getting students to see real-life applications for what they are learning in school is one of the most powerful motivators teachers can use. Helping students understand that what they learn today can make a difference in the world around them is one of the most important jobs teachers can do. For the past 8 years, Sandy Bayhan, the 9th grade advanced history teacher at Central, and my team partner, has been meeting both of these objectives with a program called Model Congress. Model Congress begins in the classroom when students study how bills become laws. Students choose a subject that concerns them, such as immigration, pollution, drugs. They research the problem and learn to write a bill that will offer a solution. Then in class, we practice debating these bills using the same procedures that state and national legislatures use. But the really fun part comes in March when we meet other schools from around Oklahoma for a day at the state capitol's House of Representatives. Students debate and vote on various bills that these different schools have developed. Students not only learn how the legislative process works, they practice it. Participation in Central's Model Congress continues when students go to Norman High. Juniors and seniors can choose to go with us and debate bills in the Senate. Aside from New Jersey, where the Model Congress program originated, Oklahoma is the only state that offers this program on a statewide basis. Last year, Central's Model Congress went online with an expanded version called the Electronic Model Congress. Central is part of a national pilot project of the National Department of Education to implement Model Congress sites across the nation. Plans are in the works to offer Model Congress and Electronic Model Congress both at Norman High and Norman North next year, so that more students than ever will be given the opportunity to participate. Sandy has trained teachers from around the state who wish to participate in this program, and she's going to offer training next August to any Norman teachers who want to learn more about this highly successful program. For Opening Doors, I'm Linda Kramer.
Thank you, Mrs. Kramer. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of District Directions. Be sure and tune in next time. Till then, I'm Amanda Patterson. Good night.